Welcome to Verbal Brick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome you all to the show. I like to, welcome myself back to the Americas. I went on a mission to Mexico, to Cozumel, because Cozumel is the cosmos. Cozumel is the place where they travel through the Yucatan, all the different tribes, per se, whether you were Mayan, Aztec, Inca. You came to Cozumel because that's where the great temple was. That's where everybody came to place their sacrifice on the altar, to give the sacrifice to the gods. But actually, it wasn't really a sacrifice to the gods, as they would tell you. It was actually a sacrifice to the universe for a prosperous year. Every 52, every cycle, every year they sacrifice. They meet in Cozumel. The people who stayed on Cozumel, they burn the huts and rebuild the huts for a new life, a new beginning. It was a wonderful trip. I learned a lot in Cozumel in this research, because I wanted you all to get a conclusion to what we've been discussing here on this show, Verbal Brick Radio, for the past 2 months. And I want to wrap it up so we can move on to something else. But so I took a trip down to Cozumel. And basically we were going on from the Spanish conquest into the Americas. We were talking about Brazil and the Portuguese, and that was Ganga Zumba. We talked about Gaspayanga in Veracruz, Mexico, where he defeated the Spaniards and gave Veracruz their first independent free state city. You can credit that to Gaspayanga. We just wanted to show how what you call black people, which were Moors, because Hispaniola is another term for Moor, especially coming from the Dominican, Santo Domingo, Haiti. All of that was basically split between the French and Spain. Once Columbus came to the Americas, the original tribes were mixed in with the Spaniards, and those that wasn't, they were they didn't have a homeland. Some was enslaved. That's why those that was enslaved from Cozumel and then brought to North America, President Lincoln wanted to send them back to Cozumel, but it didn't happen. But they did send them to somewhere near Haiti, Santo Domingo, if I'm correct. They allowed the ex-slaves and free slaves to go there. They wanted to go back to where they came from. So when I went through the town of Cozumel, I ain't gonna lie, man, I thought I was in South Park or Acres Home or any black neighborhood in USA, America. All these dark-skinned, Spanish-speaking Moors walking around with no clue to their identity or their history, not knowing they're connected to the ancient old mix, that their parents had been there in that land from the start. And these mulattoes, I should say, are ruling over them, but that's just due to the bloodline of the Spanish who came and conquered the natives that was there, right? So we want to, and I just want to point out something, because sometimes I want to show you all the hypocrisy in some of these historians and the way they tell the story, right? Check it out. It says that the Maya is believed to have first settled Cozumel by the early part of the first millennium AD, right? Let me read that again so there's no confusion. The Maya is believed to have first settled Cozumel by the early part of the first millennium AD. Now check this out. And older pre-classic Olmec artifacts have been found on the island as well. So if you got something that's older, then how can the first be before what's older? See, because they know that the Olmecs was the first civilization in Mexico, and they were black. They don't want to tell you that, and that's it. But so what the historians would do is distort it, and they'll do a double take on words, right? It's gonna have two meanings, but because they don't want to let you all know the facts, so they try to subtly hide it by making a statement such as that. And I got to read it again, and we'll get on to it, because it just shocks and amazes me how they'll put that out in the public, thinking that they'll shoot it over someone's head, right? The Maya is believed to have first settled Cozumel by the early part of the first millennium AD, and older pre-classic Olmec artifacts have been found on the island as well. So that means that they were there. If you found the artifacts on Cozumel, that means the Olmecs was already there before the Maya. But the Maya really started coming about with the Spaniards and Cortez in this story. But known for making chocolates, you mean to tell me that the Olmecs wasn't making chocolate? Come on, we'll get into it though, because the guy there who was there, he didn't want to. We had a sidebar conversation, and I wanted to film him, and he was like, "Man, look, this is my job. I got to tell this. I can't." He said that, but he did give me this. He said, "Yeah, the Egyptians, the Olmecs, and the early Maya, they were all the same people. And where is Egypt? Is in Africa. The Olmecs came over here." Which had some say they had traces back to Mali, but we'll get more into that at a later date, because this is extensive research and study. So, just bear with me. But he did say, yeah, okay, they all was the same people, but he couldn't say that on record, because he said, hey man, this is my job. I have to tell it the way to bring money, because if some of the tourists was to know the real truth, and he started telling about the Olmecs and whatnot, then there's dollars that could eventually be lost. So you got to stick to the script, and we can understand that, right? We can basically understand it. So we want to get into it so y'all can get an understanding of what we're talking about. So we'll pick up right here. The island was sacred to the Lexchiel, which is Lxchel. The Maya moon goddess, and the temples here were a place of pilgrimage, especially by women desiring fertility. So they would come, sacrifice, put the sacrifice down, come to the temple. They are mostly the women who